If you're watching this video right now, it's not by accident. Something in your consciousness, across multiple timelines, guided you here because you're ready for what I'm about to reveal. What I'm going to show you will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about reality itself. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. Parallel realities aren't science fiction. They're scientific fact. In 1957, physicist Hugh Everett proved mathematically that every decision you make splits the universe into parallel branches. Right now, there are infinite versions of you living infinite versions of your life across the quantum multiverse. But here's what changes everything. Most people are trapped in one timeline, completely unaware they have the power to jump between realities. They're passengers in their own existence. But you're different. You're here because something inside you knows there's more. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact technique, backed by quantum mechanics and declassified CIA research, to consciously shift between parallel timelines. You'll learn the scientific proof that parallel realities exist, why the Mandela Effect is evidence of timeline shifts, the exact quantum mechanics behind reality jumping, Tesla's frequency technique for timeline navigation, the 7-minute daily practice that shifts your reality. But I need to warn you, once you understand this, you can never go back to seeing reality the same way. Most people will watch 3 minutes and leave. Their consciousness isn't ready. But if you're still here, it means you're one of the architects. You're ready to rule your reality. Let me show you how deep this goes. Let's start with the experiment that changed everything. In 1801, Thomas Young performed the double-slit experiment. He shot particles through 2 slits and discovered something impossible. When nobody was watching, particles behaved like waves, passing through both slits simultaneously, creating an interference pattern. But the moment someone observed which slit the particle went through, it behaved like a particle, going through only one slit. Here's what this means. The particle existed in multiple states simultaneously, in multiple realities, until consciousness collapsed it into one. Your observation didn't just measure reality, it created reality, but it gets deeper. In the year 2000, physicist Yoon-Ho Kim took this further with a delayed choice quantum eraser experiment. Published in Physical Review Letters, this experiment proved something that should be impossible. Scientists could change the past behavior of photons by making measurements in the future. Think about that. The future affected the past. Time isn't linear at the quantum level. All timelines exist simultaneously. Now here's where it connects to your life. In 1957, physicist Hugh Everett proposed the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. His mathematics proved that every quantum measurement causes the universe to split into parallel branches. Every decision you make, every choice, every thought creates a new timeline. Right now, there's a version of you that chose differently this morning, a version that took the other job, a version that said yes instead of no. These aren't hypothetical. They're real parallel realities existing simultaneously in the quantum field. Most physicists rejected this at first. It seemed too radical. But today, many worlds is one of the leading interpretations of quantum mechanics. Why? Because the math works. The evidence supports it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not living one life. You're living infinite lives across infinite timelines. But here's what nobody tells you. In a few minutes, we'll show you why the Mandela Effect is proof that timelines are bleeding together. But first, you need to understand quantum superposition, because this is the mechanism that allows timeline jumping. In 1935, Erwin Schrödinger proposed a thought experiment to show how absurd quantum mechanics seemed: a cat in a box with poison that has a 50% chance of being released. Until you open the box, the cat is both alive and unalive simultaneously. He meant this as a criticism, but quantum mechanics proved him right. At the quantum level, particles do exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. An electron is spinning up and spinning down. A photon is here and there. This is called quantum superposition. Now here's what changes everything for your reality. If quantum superposition applies to particles, and you are made of particles, then you exist in multiple states simultaneously. Right now, there's a quantum version of you that made different choices. That version exists in superposition with this version until your consciousness collapses the wave function and selects which reality you experience. The question isn't whether parallel realities exist. The question is, can you consciously shift between them? And the answer is yes. But first, let me show you the evidence that people are already shifting timelines without realizing it. Have you ever remembered something clearly, only to discover that history says it never happened? You're not alone. Millions of people share the same false memories. This is called the Mandela Effect. Named after the widespread false memory that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s. He actually died in 2013. Here are the most famous examples. The Berenstain Bears. Millions remember it as Berenstein with an E, but it's always been Berenstain with an A. The Monopoly Man. Most people remember him having a monocle. He never had one. Luke. I am your father. Darth Vader never said this. The actual line is, no, I am your father. Skeptics say this is just false memory. But here's what they can't explain. Why do millions of people remember the exact same incorrect details? The quantum explanation. These people shifted from a timeline where those details were true to this timeline where they're different. Timeline bleed through, reality shifts. You've experienced this, you just didn't know what it was. Now here's where it gets interesting. If people are shifting timelines accidentally, what happens when you do it consciously? That's what the next several minutes are about. I'm going to show you the exact mechanics of timeline jumping and the technique to do it deliberately. But first, you need to understand the role your consciousness plays in collapsing quantum possibilities. Here's the most important concept in this entire video. Your consciousness doesn't just observe reality, it creates reality. The double-slit experiment proved this. When consciousness observes a particle, the wave function collapses from infinite possibilities into one reality. But here's what nobody tells you about this process. You're not just collapsing wave functions for particles in a lab. You're collapsing wave functions for your entire reality, every single moment. Every thought you have, every belief you hold, every expectation you carry. These are acts of observation that collapse quantum possibilities into your experience timeline. Most people do this unconsciously. They collapse the same patterns over and over, creating the same reality repeatedly. But when you understand the mechanics, you can consciously select which timeline you collapse into. In 2008, Dean Radin at the Institute of Noetic Sciences conducted experiments proving that human consciousness affects quantum systems. Published in Physics Essays, his research showed that focused intention could influence the behavior of quantum random number generators at statistically significant levels. Your consciousness has measurable effects on quantum reality. This isn't metaphysics. This is physics. Now let me show you the mechanism that allows timeline jumping. In 1935, Einstein, Podolsky, and Rosen discovered something that Einstein called spooky action at a distance. When two particles become entangled, they remain connected regardless of distance. Change the state of one particle, and the other changes instantly, even if they're on opposite sides of the universe. This violates the speed of light. Information travels faster than light through quantum entanglement. In 2022, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded for proving quantum entanglement is real. But here's what this means for timeline jumping. If particles can be entangled across space, they can be entangled across time, across timelines. Your consciousness in this timeline is quantum entangled with your consciousness in parallel timelines. When you shift your vibrational frequency through thought, emotion, and intention, you change which timeline you're entangled with. This is the bridge. This is how you jump. Nikola Tesla said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." He wasn't speaking poetically. He discovered that specific frequencies create quantum coherent states that allow consciousness to access parallel timelines. Tesla's 369 code is the key. Here's what he discovered. Frequency 3 Hz aligns with delta brainwaves, accessing subconscious programming. Frequency 6 aligns with theta brainwaves, the gateway to quantum field. Frequency 9 aligns with alpha brainwaves, conscious reality selection. When you cycle through these frequencies in meditation, your consciousness enters a quantum coherent state. In this state, the boundaries between timelines become permeable. You can perceive parallel realities. You can select which one to collapse into. In 1983, the CIA commissioned a classified report called the Gateway Process. This wasn't conspiracy theory. This was official CIA research into consciousness and reality manipulation. The report, now declassified and available through the Freedom of Information Act, concluded that consciousness can exist independent of physical reality. Time-space is a construct that consciousness can transcend through specific frequency patterns. Consciousness can access alternate realities. The universe is a hologram, and consciousness can navigate between holographic layers. The CIA spent millions researching this because it works. They used binaural beats and hemispheric synchronization to induce altered states where operatives could access information from parallel timelines. The technique they developed is based on the same principles Tesla discovered: frequency, vibration, and quantum coherence. I'm going to teach you a simplified version of this technique shortly. But first, you need to understand why most people fail at timeline jumping. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people can't jump timelines because their subconscious is anchored to their current reality. You might consciously want to shift to a timeline where you're wealthy, healthy, and sovereign. But if your subconscious believes I'm not worthy, or money is hard to get, or I always struggle, those beliefs act as quantum anchors. They keep collapsing you back into the same timeline. This is why affirmations don't work for most people. You're trying to override subconscious programming with conscious thoughts. But the subconscious is 95% of your reality creation power. Here's what you need to understand. Your subconscious operates at theta frequency 4 to 8 Hz. This is the same frequency range where quantum coherence occurs. When you access theta state, you can reprogram your subconscious and access parallel timelines simultaneously. This is the secret. This is what the CIA discovered. This is what Tesla knew. In 3 minutes, I'm going to give you the exact 7-minute daily practice that combines Tesla's frequency technique with subconscious reprogramming. But first, you need to understand the Akashic records, because this is where all timeline information is stored. The Akashic records is an ancient concept found in Hindu, Buddhist, and Egyptian traditions. It's described as a cosmic library containing all information about every soul's journey across all timelines. Modern quantum physics calls this the zero-point field or the quantum vacuum. It's the underlying field of consciousness that contains all possibilities, all timelines, all information. When you enter deep theta state, your consciousness can access this field. You can perceive information from parallel timelines. You can see the version of you that made different choices. You can feel the frequency of that timeline. And once you feel that frequency, you can match it. This is how timeline jumping works. Access theta state, quantum coherence. Connect to Akashic records, zero-point field. Perceive desired timeline frequency. Match that frequency through thought, emotion, and intention. Collapse wave function into new timeline. Now I'm going to teach you the exact technique to do this. This is the technique that combines everything we've covered: Tesla's frequencies, CIA gateway process, quantum coherence, and Akashic records access. Do this every morning for 7 minutes. Step 1, frequency induction minutes 1 to 2. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Breathe in for 3 counts, hold for 6 counts, exhale for 9 counts. This is Tesla's 3-6-9 pattern. It synchronizes your brain waves with quantum coherence frequencies. Repeat this breathing pattern for 2 minutes. You'll feel your consciousness shift. Your thoughts will slow down. You're entering theta state. Step 2, quantum field connection minutes 3 to 4. Visualize yourself floating in infinite cosmic space. Around you are infinite glowing threads. Each thread is a timeline, a parallel reality. Feel yourself connected to all of them simultaneously. Say internally, I am quantum consciousness. I exist in all timelines simultaneously. I choose which reality I experience. Repeat this for 2 minutes while maintaining the visualization. Step 3, timeline selection minutes 5 to 6. Now focus on the timeline you want to jump to. Don't visualize specific details. Instead, feel the frequency of that timeline. How does it feel to be the version of you living in that reality? What emotions does that version carry? Confidence, peace, power, abundance? Feel that frequency in your body. Let it saturate every cell. This is quantum entanglement. You're matching the frequency of your desired timeline. Step 4, wave function collapse minute 7. Take a deep breath and say internally, I collapse the wave function. I choose this timeline. I am this reality now. Feel the shift happen. Feel yourself locking into that frequency. Open your eyes. For the next 24 hours, act as if you're already in that timeline. Make decisions from that version of you. Speak from that frequency. Move through the world as that sovereign being. This completes the collapse. This anchors you in the new timeline. Now, I know some of you are thinking, does this actually work? Let me show you the evidence. Case study 1, the career timeline jump. A 34-year-old software engineer practiced this technique for 30 days. On day 31, he received an unexpected job offer from a company he'd applied to 6 months earlier and been rejected. They said they found his application again and realized he was perfect for a new position that didn't exist when he first applied. His life circumstances shifted dramatically. Did he jump to a timeline where he got the job? Or did the job manifest in his current timeline? From a quantum perspective, there's no difference. He collapsed a new reality into existence. Case study 2, the health timeline jump. A 47-year-old woman with chronic pain practiced this technique, focusing on a timeline where she was pain-free. After 21 days, she went for a routine scan. The doctors were confused. The condition causing her pain had significantly improved. She referred to it as timeline jumping. Case study 3, the relationship timeline jump. A 29-year-old man practiced this technique after a difficult breakup. He focused on a timeline where he was in a loving, aligned relationship. Within 45 days, he met someone who shared his values and vision. They're now married. Did he jump to a timeline where this person existed in his life? Or did he shift his frequency to attract that person? Again, quantum mechanics says these are the same thing. Now, skeptics will say these are coincidences, confirmation bias, placebo effect. But here's what they can't explain. Why do these coincidences happen consistently when people practice this technique? Why does the timing align so well with the practice? The quantum explanation fits the data. Let me show you how the double slit experiment applies directly to your daily life. Remember, particles exist in superposition, multiple states simultaneously, until observed. Your life works the same way. Right now, you exist in quantum superposition across infinite timelines. In one timeline, you're wealthy. In another, you're struggling. In another, you're healthy. In another, you're not. All of these exist simultaneously in the quantum field. The question is, which one are you observing? Because the moment you observe, through your thoughts, beliefs, expectations, and emotions, you collapse the wave function into one experienced reality. Most people observe the same patterns unconsciously. I never have enough money collapses into scarcity timeline. Relationships always fail collapses into heartbreak timeline. I'm not good enough collapses into limitation timeline. But when you consciously choose what you observe, you consciously choose which timeline you experience. This is the power of the observer effect applied to your entire existence. Now I'm going to teach you an advanced technique used by quantum consciousness practitioners. It's called parallel self-integration. Here's the concept. Every version of you in every parallel timeline has unique knowledge, skills, and experiences. The version of you that's wealthy understands money differently. The version of you that's healthy has different habits. The version of you that's sovereign thinks differently. Through quantum entanglement, you can access the consciousness of these parallel selves and integrate their knowledge into your current awareness. This isn't visualization, this is actual quantum information transfer. Here's the technique. Step 1. Enter theta state using the 3-6-9 breathing pattern, 3 minutes. Step 2. Visualize a specific parallel version of yourself, the one living your desired reality. Step 3. Ask this version 3 questions. What do you know that I don't know yet? What do you believe that I don't believe yet? What do you do daily that I'm not doing yet? Step 4. Listen. Don't force answers. Let information flow from your quantum entanglement with this parallel self. Step 5. Write down everything you receive immediately after the practice. Step 6. Implement one insight within 24 hours. This can create quantum coherence between timelines. You begin integrating the frequency of your parallel self, downloading information from parallel timelines where you may have succeeded. In 2012, physicist John Wheeler's delayed choice experiment was replicated with photons traveling through space. The results were published in a scientific journal and confirmed something that should be impossible. Decisions made in the present can change events in the past. This is called retro-causality, backwards causation through time. Here's what the experiment proved. Scientists sent photons on an 8-minute journey. They made a measurement decision after the photons had already traveled for 8 minutes. The photons behaved according to the future decision, not the past conditions. The future affected the past. Now here's what this means for timeline jumping. When you make a decision now to shift timelines, that decision sends quantum information backwards through time, restructuring your past to align with your new timeline. This is why people experience the Mandela Effect. Their memories don't match current reality because they shifted from a timeline with a different past. Your future self is already influencing your present moment through retro-causality. The question is, are you consciously directing this influence, or is it happening randomly? Let me give you specific applications for different areas of your life. For wealth timeline jumping, focus on the frequency of abundance, not the money itself. In your 7-minute practice, feel what it's like to make decisions without limitation. Feel the peace of knowing resources always flow to you. This is the frequency of the wealthy timeline. People can notice unexpected opportunities, better decisions naturally, resources appearing when needed. Shift from scarcity thinking to abundance thinking. For health timeline jumping, focus on the frequency of vitality, not the absence of symptoms. Feel what it's like to wake up energized. Feel your body as strong, capable, resilient. This is the frequency of the healthy timeline. People can report improved energy levels, better sleep quality, reduced pain and inflammation, natural desire for healthier choices. For relationship timeline jumping, focus on the frequency of aligned connection, not a specific person. Feel what it's like to be truly seen and valued. Feel the peace of authentic relating. This is the frequency of the aligned relationship timeline. People can notice toxic relationships naturally falling away, aligned people entering your life, improved communication in existing relationships, clarity about what you truly want. For purpose timeline jumping, focus on the frequency of sovereignty and contribution. Feel what it's like to wake up excited about your work. Feel the fulfillment of living your purpose. This is the frequency of the sovereign purpose timeline. People can experience clarity about your true calling, opportunities aligned with your gifts, natural motivation and inspiration, sense of meaning in daily activities. Mistake 1. Trying to jump too far too fast. If you're currently in a timeline of struggle and you try to jump directly to a timeline of massive wealth, the frequency gap is too large. Your subconscious rejects it as impossible. Instead, jump to the next closest timeline, then the next, then the next. Think of it as quantum stepping stones, not quantum leaping. Mistake 2. Focusing on what you don't want. When you focus on I don't want to be broke anymore, you're still vibrating at the frequency of lack. The quantum field doesn't understand negation. It only reads frequency. Focus on what you do want. Feel the frequency of having it now. Mistake 3. Waiting for external proof before embodying the new timeline. Most people think, I'll feel abundant when I have money. But timeline jumping works in reverse. You feel abundant first, then the money appears. You must embody the frequency before the physical reality shifts. This is the hardest part for most people, but it's non-negotiable. Act as if you're already in the desired timeline. The physical reality can catch up. Here's your exact protocol for the next 30 days. Daily 7 minutes, every morning. 3-6-9 breathing pattern, 2 minutes. Quantum field connection, 2 minutes. Timeline frequency matching, 2 minutes. Wave function collapse declaration, 1 minute. Parallel self-integration practice, 15 minutes. Journal the insights received. Implement one insight immediately. Review your journal entries. Notice synchronicities and shifts. Identify which timeline elements have manifested. Adjust your practice based on results. Critical rules. Never skip more than 2 days in a row. Practice at the same time each morning. Consistency creates quantum coherence. Track your results objectively. Don't share your practice with skeptics. Their doubt can interfere with your frequency. Here's the final truth I need you to understand. The fact that you're watching this video right now shows you may have already jumped timelines. The version of you that started this video may not be the same version watching right now. You've received information that has already shifted your consciousness. You now understand. Parallel realities can be scientifically proven. Your consciousness creates your reality through observation. Timeline jumping is possible through quantum coherence. You have the exact technique to do it consciously. This knowledge may have already changed your frequency. You may already be in a different timeline than when you started. The question now is, what will you do with this power? Will you go back to unconscious reality creation? Or will you step into your role as a quantum architect, consciously designing your reality across infinite timelines? The choice is yours. But know this, you were meant to find this video. Your higher self guided you here because you're ready. You're one of the architects. You're here to rule your reality. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to this channel. We're building a community of quantum architects who understand these principles. Drop a comment below with the word sovereignty. And if you want to go deeper, check the description for a resource list on quantum consciousness. Remember, you're not a passenger in reality, you're the architect. Now go build your empire across infinite timelines.